What time is it, my creatives? That's right, it's photo hacking time. And today we are going to learn how to clone paint in Photoshop. Now, this is an oldie, but a goodie. And if you're painting in Photoshop for the first time, this is the easy try and true method, especially if you really don't know how to draw. All right, so let's get started. In our last video, we learned how to make brushes for skin, how to blend skin together. So if you haven't done so already, I would suggest going back and watching that video because it will be very useful. Now, I am on version 22 of my Photoshop. If you're not sure which version of Photoshop you're on, you can go to Help and then to System Info. It will tell you which version of Photoshop, and you can see I am here on Adobe Photoshop version 22. All right, so let's go ahead and begin with the tutorial. So the first step, what you're going to want to do is you're obviously going to want to open your image in Photoshop, and you can do that by going File, Open, or double clicking on the image. Now, if you're on a Mac, M1, you can't double click on the image. You'll have to do File As. I don't know why there's differences in both of the operating systems, but it does have some different variations. All right, so once you have your image opened up, you're going to have a white background layer. You're going to unlock that layer. Now, I'm working with my image size here is 300 DPI, 7 by 7 inches. Okay, it doesn't really matter for this, so you can use whatever you like. Now, once you have that unlocked, you're going to create a new layer, okay? And just click this little plus button right here on the side. All right, and you're going to name this Canvas, C-A-N-V-A-S. All right. Now we're going to duplicate our image here, okay? And we're going to duplicate it, or you can just press Control J. All right. And I'm just going to put here original her and copy her. All right. Okay, and so we're going to move the original her up to the top right here. So the original is on the top and the copy is on the bottom. All right, what we're going to do is we're going to merge this canvas and the background down, and I'm just going to call that canvas. All right. Now, the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to click on the original layer, okay, right here, and then we're going to add a new blank layer by using Shift Control N. So we're going to hold down Shift Control and then the letter N. And then a dialog box will pop up here, and then press OK. Okay, so now we're going to go back to the original copy layer, and then we're going to put it down to about 1%, the fill. All right, so we have 1% here. All right, and now we're going to merge those two together by pressing Control E. Control E. There we go. Sometimes it doesn't want to work. I think sometimes my keyboard gets stuck because I use it so much. Now, it's going to look like it appears blank, but it really isn't. So now we're going to duplicate those merged layers twice. Duplicate layer, duplicate layer. Okay, so we're going to have 1, 2, 3 extra layers. We're going to move this layer to the very top and reduce it by 30%. Okay. Now we're going to rename these layers. So I'm going to call the first one Details and the second one Intermediate. And the last one, underpainting. If I can spell. Okay. So we have those all set up. And so we're going to change this to reference. Okay. And then we're going to lock this layer. And that's so we don't accidentally paint on that layer. Okay. In case you mess up or whatever, you might want to save this. So go to File, Save As, save it as a PSD, and then also have a separate one so you can, so you're not like drawing over. So you could have this like as a template to draw faces to practice on. So this is the way most artists set up their painting for sketching or for painting. So if you turn this off, you could barely see here. I mean, it's very faint, but you could still see her face. I mean, I had even put the fill at 2%, but I digress. So you have the details in the intermediate here. And what you could do is while you're doing the underpainting, you could get your brush here, the painting brushes that I had already painted, and you could start to go in and block in stuff here. So you could just start painting. This would be the underpainting, of course. So could start outlining the lips and whatnot. And this basically is going to give you a really good basis for painting over. And I'm just using my mouse right now because I didn't even hook up my Wacom for this, but I'm just showing you guys how this kind of like works, you know? And it does a pretty good job. So I hope that you guys like this tutorial. And I want to show you another quick thing too. I'm just going to unlock this for a minute. I'm going to press Control A, Control C, and create a new document with my little picture here and merge it down. So now it's the background. There's actually an action in Photoshop that does all of this stuff for you. In case you don't have it, I'm in version 22, like I said. You go to Windows, and then you go to Actions, okay? It's going to be in the default actions at the very tippy top. Of course, I have a lot of other actions in here that are mine, but this is the default actions for Photoshop, okay? If you don't have them, you can go in here and look. There might be in here. And so you go into default actions here, and at the very bottom, it says Mixer Brush Cloning Paint Tool. And merge down. I merged that down, but I wanted to make sure that it was working beforehand, so I paused the video and did that. So Mixer Brush Cloning, and then you just press play, and then press continue, and it will complete all of the same steps that we just did. But it's important for you to know these steps yourselves so you know how to do these things. So, and this one's even better because it has the hue and saturation. It sets up the colors for you as well. So that's really cool. And we can go even further. You can also add different filters. There's many oil painting filters. Depending on what types of brushes you have, you can create an acrylic effect. I have many types of brushes for sale in my shop at photohacklovers.com. Or you could just use the free set that I provided to you in the last video. And it is these brushes here that I created. As you can see, it does a pretty good job. I've started to create the lips, and it actually is pretty good. So even if you're not the greatest artist, you can draw like this. I'm doing this with my mouse just to give you some type of courage. With your Wacom pencil, of course, it's going to be 100 times better. But you definitely want to be using a Wacom pencil. But thanks so much for watching, guys. If you like this video, please like and hit the subscribe button. Hopefully we can get to 75 likes, and I'll go ahead and do a full complete drawing for you guys. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great day.